I tell you something about me up front. I'm not a tough person. Don't let this cashmere sweater fool you.
Now there's just certain people I have no time for. Like if you're sexist or homophobic, or if you don't believe in conspiracy theories. Just don't understand, how do you not believe in any conspiracy theories? I understand not all of them, not most of them, but you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? You just think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us the whole truth? That's a strong stance to take. And again, as I said before, I don't like talking about politics on stage or off stage. I don't like talking about things I don't feel like I'm truly knowledgeable in. But I do know this. Our government is placed in charge of all of its people. I'm a father who's been placed in charge of just one son. And I lie to that nigga all the time. I just love conspiracy theories. I have my whole life. Make some up when I'm bored. Why is it that every time you're getting ready to take off on an airplane and the captain got on over the loudspeaker, you always heard the same exact thing? You always hear, "Thank you for choosing us. We know you have a lot of choices in the airline community and they all fucking suck, so thank you. We got a great crew on board for you this evening. Barbara's here." Oh, you gonna love you some Barbara. We even got pretty good weather conditions. So I'm gonna do my best to get us in a few minutes early so that we can just sit on the runway for another half an hour. So just sit back and relax, enjoy yourself. Oh, but hold up. If you don't turn off your phone, oh, I swear to God, on the lives of Barbara's beautiful children, this plane will fall from the sky. But now they're just like, oh, never mind. I guess I had just read too many Goosebumps novels late last night. I scared myself. I should know better. If I get past 10 o'clock, I always tell myself I gotta switch to Wishbone, you know?
I love wrestling. It's the best. People try to make you feel stupid for liking it. They're always like, hey, you know that thing you love with the pageantry and the fireworks and the golden belts. It's fake. And I'm supposed to be like, oh no. You've ripped my world asunder. I guess I'll just watch House now. But really, it should be like, well, no shit, it's fake. What type of psychopath would I have to be if I wanted it to be real? Oh, you mean the thing where people have minor disagreements so they body slam each other? And there's a guy who carries around a snake in a bag that he uses to bite his enemies. But it won't work against the Undertaker because he don't got no blood. You telling me that's not on the up and up? Weird things always bother me. Like, why do I always have to prove to a robot that I'm not a robot? Why do you even care? Who put you up to this, robot? And how do you even want me to prove it? With a captcha? By putting in a series of random letters and numbers? That sounds like something a robot would be pretty good at. I don't go up to my toaster and be like, hey, prove to me you not my friend Craig right now. You looking a little Craig-like to me. Kinda acting like Craig. Turning my bread into toast, that's one of Craig's favorite things. Oh, that is you, Craig? You love sitting on kitchen counters, dude. I'm pretty happy. Been happy in general. My son just turned 10 years old. Thank you. It's been a pleasure watching him grow up from a little bitty baby into a 10-year-old psychopath. And you can chart his descent into madness by how he's changed his stance on piñatas. When he was a toddler, he was terrified of piñatas. And it was my job to vanquish them. Now he treats a piñata like he's a mob boss from New Jersey. And Optimus Prime owes him several $1,000s. He works it across the knees for a little bit. Takes a break so he can kiss his mother and pay some respect. Then he bashes in the skull. And I take pictures and post it on my Facebook. So my son is 10, which is wonderful. He has autism, which can be difficult. He's also a huge asshole. Some people don't like it when I call my 10-year-old disabled child an asshole. To which I always respond, if you only use 30 words and your 3 favorite are more pancakes, biatch. Actually, that's pretty cool.
I grew up in the south side of Chicago, which is a very rough area. I'm not a tough person. And a lot of women I was going after, especially a lot of black women, they like the tougher type of black dude, because that's what they saw, you know? That's what the media shows you, you know? There's only like 1 or 2 types of black dudes they try to show you, and there's so many different types, you know? They only like to show you a couple, you know, like thug or dead. And that's not cool. There's so many different types of black people, there's so many different types of any type of people. There's just so many different types of black dudes in general. There's like basketball niggas, there's Dragon Ball niggas. I'm a proud Dragon Ball nigga. That's just who I am, and sometimes I didn't work with the women I was going after, you know? They wanted more of a tough, strong, dominant black man. So many of them were like that to the point where I just started pretending like I was that, you know? If they didn't know me, if they didn't know who I was, if they didn't know I was a Care Bear cousin inside. But eventually they figure it out, and they be like, look, Ron, I'm sorry. You're a good guy. And that's the problem. I'm looking for a tough, strong, dominant black man to help take care of me. And I'd be like, well, quite frankly, so am I. You don't think I want to ride on The Rock's shoulders? Eating an ice cream cone? Girl, do you even look at my vision board? He's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. The Beyonce for boys. Oh, The Rock is perfect. He can do no wrong in my eyes. If I was out on a date with a lady and we were all cuddled up together, which sometimes happens, and then The Rock saw us, and he was like, oh, you guys make a cute couple. But not anymore, 'cause I wanna fuck her. I'd be like, well, sir, I'ma check with her first. Oh, but on this end, there are no issues. I mean, if The Rock was hitting on me, if his muscular finger went against the nape of my neck, oh. I mean, I like to think I'm straight, but in these days, and you know, who really knows? Maybe I am a rock bottom, I don't know. Look, all I really know is if The Rock was hitting on me, I'd just be like, I'm gonna have to see where he's going with this. But I think I smell what The Rock is cooking. Smell that dick.